So Tehran is responding to the attacks on Beirut by closing the Strait of Hormuz.
Chief Foreign Correspondent Trey Yingst is live in Israel with the latest. Good morning, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. This comes amid talks this weekend in Islamabad, Pakistan. The U.S. delegation will be led by Vice President J.D. Vance and Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. The president overnight on True Social issuing a new warning to the Iranian regime, saying in part, quote, all U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with additional ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. Now, this is coming as all eyes remain on the Strait of Hormuz. We understand yesterday that 4 vessels were able to pass through the strait. Iran does maintain control and says that vessels who pass through the strait have to coordinate with their military. Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance issuing another warning to the Iranian regime at the negotiating table.
But fundamentally, the Iranians have got to take the next step, or the president has a lot of options to go back to the war. The more that they're willing to give us, I think the more they're going to get things out of this negotiation.
Now, the Iranians are threatening to leave these negotiations if Israeli strikes against Hezbollah continue. Dozens of strikes took place yesterday. A senior Israeli official telling Fox News that up to 200 Hezbollah combatants were killed in those strikes. Lebanese media and officials report that many civilians were also among the dead. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday speaking about the goals of this operation.
We have more goals to complete, and we will achieve them either by agreement or by renewing the fighting. We are prepared to return to fighting at any moment necessary. Our finger is on the trigger.
The question is whether or not the Iranians are willing to make a good faith deal, and already many officials in Tehran are contradicting the agreement that was laid out to enter into this 2-week ceasefire. There was a top atomic official today saying that Iran will maintain its ability to enrich uranium, and this comes after those comments yesterday from President Trump that an agreement was reached to allow this uranium to be extracted from where it was deeply buried following Operation Midnight Hammer and removed from the country. Guys?
So today's going to be the big day, Trey, because if you cannot get these ships through the strait, I mean, what's the sense of having a ceasefire? Because that's one of the main functions of this ceasefire, to bring things back while they try to work out the details.
Yeah, absolutely. The Iranians lack leverage at the negotiating table, and once again, this is why they are trying to put pressure on the Strait of Hormuz, where around 20% of the world's oil exports actually pass through. And if they continue to do this, it's an indication that they're not willing to make an agreement. This was one of the reasons that the entire region plunged into this conflict, not just the nuclear issue and their pursuit of a nuclear weapon, but also their efforts to try and choke off the global energy trade. And so the Strait of Hormuz will be incredibly critical, and what the Iranians say in the days ahead will be very important. They're trying to put out a lot of propaganda and try to spin the negotiators ahead of this meeting in Islamabad, and if they're able to do so, it again is an indication that they are not serious about keeping the strait open.
Yeah, Trey, why do they have so much control over the strait? We're being told the Iranian foreign minister said that the country will allow safe passage for any vessels, but they have to coordinate with Iran's armed forces and take certain routes.
So a lot of this has to do with the location of the Strait of Hormuz. This is a body of water at this particular point between the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf that is just about 22 miles wide, and the shipping lanes are actually just 2 miles wide each. And so it gives the Iranians the ability to decide when and where ships are able to pass through, because they control one side and Oman controls the other. And if they continue to threaten this shipping lane, it's an indication that the region could plunge back into conflict, because they have the ability with these mines that they can plant and also with shorter range cruise missiles to target vessels. And they did this over the past 40 days. And it's incredibly dangerous for these shipping vessels that pass through this area, because if they're worried about hitting a mine or something else, the Iranians are able to use these relatively cheap vessels to interrupt billions of dollars worth of shipping. Reports also indicate that they are trying to charge a toll for ships that pass through. Some reports even indicate they want $1 per barrel for vessel that passes through, and some of the barrels hold up to 2 million barrels of oil on each individual vessel.
Yeah, $2 million a pop to get through. Only 4 got through yesterday. Thanks, Trey. There's also a sense that maybe they're telling them where to go because you know where the mines are.
Right.
Yeah. So they're going in and out.
Yeah.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.